Daniel, you mentioned that we have an update on this in Canada. They're changing the name of like a huge street downtown.
Literally like one of the major streets. It was the equivalent of them changing like, I don't know, Bowery or like Houston Street, like a huge street in New York, like in Toronto, Dundas Street West. City Council votes to rename Dundas Street. This was posted yesterday. And so this street, because the dude was like, first off, he had never been to Canada. He was like a Scottish guy. It was like he was a famous Scottish politician who was like, I guess, involved in the slave trade in some capacity. He was an influential Scottish politician, was opposed to ending the British Empire's participation in the transatlantic slave trade when the proposal was brought forth. So I don't think he was a slave owner. He just was like, they're like, hey, we're going to abolish this. And he's like, I don't know. Like, so did fucking Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like Abraham Lincoln.
They want him done too. There's no one, a lot of people, there was a lot of speculation in the sketch we did where we go, Daryl sounds sick though. And people were like, what was that Daryl thing? It's like, well, they're just trying to take away everyone. Like every single person in the world, these kind of, fucking people only think of the bad things about them.
So this is like what and
everyone
he voted against this in like the, I don't know, 1800s at some point in the 1800s.
Well, all of this stuff is to do everything you can to not actually help anyone. Dude, all of this fucking like fake activist motherfucker shit is just so, whatever, upper middle class, elite, if you want to say all those words, can pretend that they're still socialists. But it's like reality, none of these people are fucking socialists. They fucking hate everyone poor. They hate poor people. They hate half the country. So they can be like, no, I'm a socialist for like gender though. I'm a socialist for race. I'm a socialist.
I mean, again, this is the height of like, this dude died in 1811. So we're basically, and I guess they're saying, look, like they're not trying to hold him to a different standard, but so he voted against, he delayed the abolition of slavery in the 1700s. And now they're like, oh, like, maybe we should rename, like people live on that street.
You literally, if you have
insane.
to do it, it's like you have to do basically what Jesus did. And that's what they want, where they go, hey, we're starting again. Year one starts now.
Yeah.
Everything before that, we don't think about anymore. No names in history from before. No, nothing. We start again now.
But another crazy thing about this is like, okay, so you're doing this. I mean, I can't imagine that every street in Toronto is named after some guy.
That's what I'm saying. This
like,
never ends.
Crazy.
But I thought you made the good point and you just said that, but it's like, if you're a normal person that just has to change your address now on everything, you got to go get a new license. It's just like, shut up.
Yeah. The street you live on
leave me alone.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And the thing is, nobody knew who this guy was. Like you say it's Dundas.
Nobody knew who this guy was. Except for maybe a descendant.
Okay. So
him.
I have friends growing up who are from Dundas, Ontario.
They don't know why.
So what? They don't have they named the city? New city name?
Yes, I guess.
Or they're like, no, that's a Toronto thing. You guys can deal with that bullshit. We're keeping our name.
Like, I mean, it might be tougher to pass this kind of bullshit in the outside of the city, but it is literally, it's just like, leave me alone.
Yeah, this is first off, for everything that's going on in Toronto, like their most locked down city in basically the world. All this
and this
issues,
is what you're
and
focusing
this is what
on?
You're dealing with right now. This is a priority, is to name a street. You're going to spend $6 million. They're estimating it's $6 million, which means it's going to be 20.
Oh, and you're literally bankrupting the fucking country. They've spent more than anyone per capita.
Well, this is a municipal. This isn't federal, but still, it's a fucking
doesn't matter. It's all the
giant.
Fucking, it's the culture of the whole thing.
Oh yeah. It's
and you go, yeah, let's spend, and it's not going to be $6 million because you're not factoring in the costs that other people will have to do too. Imagine you have business cards. Every person that has a business card with Dundas has to change that. So there's a cost of that. And I'm just saying that's a tiny thing. But my point is, it ain't $6 million. The aggregate cost is a lot more.
They're saying this cost for the city will be $6 million. You're like, no, that'll be $20 million, and then it'll be $100 for everybody else.
So it's just like, you guys have real problems. And there's people right now that fucking don't have jobs. There's people with real problems.
Oh yeah. And it's just, there's probably nobody homeless people live on Dundas Street.
Do you think anyone that's poor right now that like works at fucking McDonald's trying to feed their family, and you come up to them and you go, yeah, did we pass any things to make the economy better or like to get me health care? And they go, better.
Also, how many people who live on Dundas Street have ever been like, Man, you know what? We should maybe like move off.
No
this
one
street.
knows.
Move off this street. Did you hear
No
that?
one knows. No one cares
But
until
it's
you
like
tell
this
you
guy
to
wasn't
care.
like, he owned 4,000 slaves. He voted against a thing to abolish slavery in the 1700s, and we have to rename the fucking street. It's
People
insane.
are fucking.
It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy because also it's like, okay, let's.
Well, I read a thing.
Never gonna end.